Blighty Boxing with Frank Warren and Queensbury here with the happiest face in Liverpool, Andrew Cain. How are you, mate?
I'm all good, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Let's face it, you've enjoying a wave of popularity recently. You've announced yourself on social media, a great win in Birmingham. What's changed? Why have you suddenly decided to put yourself out there again a bit more?
To be honest, mate, it's people who've been on me saying, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. If it was down to me, I probably would have steered clear from it. But I understand that it's useful, but I also understand that you get addicted to it, and you're worried about what people are thinking, people that you wouldn't let even come in your circle, are sort of in your circle and they get in your head. So for me, I let someone else control it, and if it's something important, I'll go on there and have a little look, or if it's someone from like me past or something, like an old friend or something, I'll get on there and see what's what. But other than that, I'll stay off there, mate.
I remember talking to you about it a couple of years ago, and you were adamant that you weren't having it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I see you on there, I think, hello, something's changed.
Yeah, well, someone made it for me. Someone made it, and then I come to a boxing show, and one of the lads went, "You're on Instagram, aren't you?" And I went, "Fuck are you going on about?" "No, I'm not," you know what I mean? And then it was my cousin that made it for me, and I phoned him and said, "What are you doing, lad? Like, why are you putting me on there?" And he said, "Look, you need it, and I'm doing it for you." And it basically told me to fuck off, you know what I mean? So I had to just say, "Sound, just do what you're doing. If I can sell a few tickets on there or whatever, it can help me, can't it?" You know what I mean?
Well, in terms of getting your personality across and everything, you did a little interview with young Dev after the Birmingham show, and it seems to have caught people's imagination.
Has it?
It seems to be like the raw honesty of it seems to have resonated with people. Have you been made aware of this?
I've heard people saying and stuff like that, but I don't like to watch them and stuff. I just be myself, innit, you know what I mean? A few years back I started doing these interviews and trying to like think about it too much and trying to be someone that I'm not, you know what I mean? And now just be myself, and if you don't like me, then you know where to go, you know what I mean?
Let's go back to that fight. The timeline went, but you missed a fight against Andrew Davis through COVID.
Andrew Davis,
Liam Davis.
Yeah.
Liam Davis through COVID. The first thing that's probably stuck you on your backside, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what was it like? Was it really knock you for six?
I'd say so, mate. Yeah, it weren't nice, but it weren't like, I didn't feel like it was deadly. You know what I mean? Maybe for somebody who's got an underlying illness it would be, but for me I didn't feel like it was deadly, but I definitely was bedbound, you know what I mean?
Put you out of the game for a few weeks, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I did, like training, and that was, even when I come back after a little 2 weeks, my chest was heavy and that, and to be honest, still not back to 100% now. You know what I mean?
So obviously you missed out on that Birmingham show. You got on the next one, if you like, but even then it was fairly short notice, and Paul says you weren't 100% confident in your fitness. Yeah. So you decided to box your way through it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, mate, I was going to box my way through it anyway, because when I fought that little ginger fella, what was his name? Jackson. When I fought that Jackson, I wanted it over 6 rounds. It was 4 rounds, and I got to him towards the end of the fight, and I felt like I could have stopped him. But now when I look back, it was a blessing in disguise, mate, because I had 6 fights, 6 KOs going into that fight. So it was like not a weight on my shoulders, but I wanted to keep that going. I was eager to keep that going, so I was understanding that these opponents, they're not on my level. So I was just wanting to walk through them and hit them and make a statement. Where I had that fight and it took the pressure off, because it was like, okay, you're 7-6 now. You don't need to be 10 with 10 knockouts. You know what I mean? So I thought I'm going to box on the next one, and then even if I would have come in and wanted to hurt someone, the fact that I never had a big build up to the fight or a proper camp meant that I had to take my time. You know what I mean? And I had to box, but I was going to do that anyway. But that made sure that I had to do that. You know what I mean? Because I probably could have come out and put it on him, but I didn't want to get tired where I'd only had just over a week's notice. You know what I mean?
You've said consistently all along, you can do that. You can do it both ways, everything else. But I think maybe now you've shown that to people, I honestly think people are more impressed with you now, now that they've seen that and seen a different side to you, rather than the sort of rampage in bull. You know, 'cause you always have doubts over people who fight like that, because you think, how do they fare when they don't fall over?
When it's on them, yeah.
Are they like a flat track bully or something?
Yeah.
I think now you've shown people that, people are now saying, right, you know, he's pretty much a complete fighter. So, I mean, it's a big box ticked in that respect.
Yeah, well, I knew this was going to happen. You know, nothing's changed for me. All I've had is another fight, and when I'm in the gym every day, that's how I fight. Most of the time I'm boxing them on the back foot, and I'm using my defences and on my jab. And I just thought to myself, like, to make a statement out a few years out, and that's all I thought. I haven't got 5, 6, 7 years to wait around and build my name up, and I thought I need to be knocking these fellas out so that everyone's saying, oh, who's this fella who's got 7 fight 7 knockouts or 6 fight 6 knockouts, that type of thing. And then they always knew once I got to that stage I'd turn around and box then, and everyone would get a shock, you know what I mean? But I haven't even showed it properly yet. That was me on a little week's notice, or just over a week's notice, you know what I mean? And like when I get a proper training camp and it's for a title fight, you're going to see something special, mate, honest.
Don't get me wrong, people do love the old Raging Bull stuff and the knockouts and everything
That's
else.
good to have.
But I think people just need to see, but you've got a plan B in a way. And I think, I mean, did this fella in previous fights, maybe you've got a little bit wound up and you've been ready like a blooming bull at the gate, you know, before the bell and giving your opponent the eyes and everything. This time was it all quite calm and civilised?
I wanted to stay relaxed, but I don't want to forget who I am, because that's who I am, mate. This is serious, you know. This isn't some little sport to me. This is my life. This is I'm here every day, and I have been since I've been 10. You know what I mean? So it's a fight for me, mate. It's serious. So that's the way I look at it, and that's the way I'm going to look at every fight. But I'm going to look at it like that and stay calm and collected, because you have gone a bit mad in the earlier ones. Yeah,
I mean that opponent. I mean, I suppose he's sort of like kind of be a claim to fame for you now in the sense, but you got rid of him quicker than Navarrete, who's a big noise over in the States now, isn't he? So
I haven't watched him.
He ain't bad, is he? So
I haven't seen much of him, to be honest. I watched like 10 seconds of the fight and coming here and it was on the telly, so what's that, Paul said your opponent, so I watched 10 seconds of it and just fucking carried on doing me raps, you know what I mean? But I've heard a few people say that Devon, that he was a good fighter, but I feel like I could go in and smash the likes of him now, you know what I mean? This is what I've been doing since I've been a baby, mate. There's no one who's going to stop me. You've got the likes of, say, like Ricky Hatton, Tony Bellew. There's loads who are from like Liverpool, Manchester, who are world champions and from a similar background to me, similar upbringing, similar type of gym, even though our gym's better than any gym they've been in. But if they can do it, who's going to tell me I can't do it? You know what I mean? There's no one who can tell me that. Something
that's sort of piqued my interest a little bit in some interviews I've seen with you over the last 6 months or so is where I mean, most fighters talk about their background and their city and how proud they are and blah blah blah, I'm here till I die, blah, blah, blah. You're almost saying the opposite. You're almost saying I want to succeed to move away. Explain it a little bit.
Well, I love this city. I do love this city, and I've got a place for it in my heart. But at the moment, I feel like I'm stuck here. Do you know what I mean? So I'd like to be able to come back here from somewhere else, so that I don't feel like I can't go nowhere else, you know what I mean? Because that's what I feel like now. I feel like all my family, we all love Liverpool, right? Because it's where we're from and it's made us the people that we are. But I feel like my family, if they had a choice, they wouldn't be here. But they wouldn't admit that because they've been here that long. But I feel like if they had a choice, mate, they would be somewhere else. So I want to be able to have that choice. That's all it is. I'll still always come back here. I love it. I love the city. It's made me who I am. But I understand that at the moment I've got no other choices, have I? You know what I mean? I'm stuck here.
I'm just going to change the battery. I mean, are you saying that maybe you feel like a bit of a captive in your own city, and you're just fighting to give yourself an option and a choice? Yeah,
well, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great things going on in this city, but there's a lot of shit as well. And my family, all my friends, they're all involved in this shit. And I sort of have been myself, even though boxing's kept me out of it. It sort of hasn't as well, do you know what I mean? So I see that and then like my son and that and I look around and I think it'd be nice to have better, you know what I mean? But the same man, they do love the city and the people. You can't beat Liverpool people, they're great, you know what I mean? So I'll always come back here to my home, but I'd like to have an option to be able to go somewhere else, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Next year it feels like it's going to be big. I mean, there's fights that are getting talked about for you. You mentioned Liam Davis before. There's talk of Chris Bourke. You got Jason Cunningham who's just come over. There's Brad Foster who's in and around your way. There's no shortage there, is there?
No, definitely not. But any of them, I take any of them on a heartbeat, honest, and I'm going to smash them. I'm coming for big things. I mean, mate, I believe that there's nobody in the UK that's going to stop me. You know what I mean? I want to be going to Vegas. I want to be fighting for the big titles. I don't want to be sitting around fighting for British titles, getting my head smashed everywhere for 20 grand. You know what I mean? It's not more into it, mate. You know what I mean? I'm looking to smash my way through these fellas and move on to world honours. You know what I mean?
Did you get the feeling from Liam Davis after his last fight that he was trying to kick the can down the road a bit? Now he's sort of he got that title, and your name was mentioned to him, and he just seemed to be, I don't know,
Was he, yeah?
distancing
I don't know, I don't
himself
watch
a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a look, mate, I don't watch it, but Davies, if he knows what he's talking about, then he knows what's coming, you know what I mean? If he knows his boxing and he knows who I am and who he is, he knows what's coming if he gets in the ring with me, mate. So I wouldn't be surprised if deep down he doesn't want to fight. Deep down he might know that he's got to take the fight because I've called him out, but it's not a good option for him. If I was his manager, I wouldn't be going there, you know what I mean?
Andrew, well done on everything. I do think we're going to have a big 2022.
Definitely.
And we look forward to it, mate.
Yes. Right.
Yes, bro.
Nice one.